I think it was Voltaire who said that when I listen, I have the power. When I speak, I give it all away. When I listen, I have the power. But when I speak, I give it all away. We've been taught that knowledge is power. And I want each and every one of you powerful. I want you to be able to maximize the gift that you've been given that allows you to gain that power and then to be able to apply that power. And so for the next few minutes, I want to talk to you about the greatest skill we were never taught. The greatest skill that people expect us to have, but we're not trained to have. I want to share with you on that skill called the skill of effective listening.
What are some other? Here we go. I'm going to share some more with you. Soft skills. Leadership skills. You're the model for what is right, what is just, what is fair, what is earnest with everyone. I do not discriminate. I do not. I don't harass. I don't bully people. I don't have two lifestyles as a leader. Yes, I'm a leader.
So let's get started. My name's Pam Bivens. I work at Duke University now training clinicians on cultural competence, implicit bias, microaggressions, unconscious bias, which is also implicit bias. So we tend to hear either or term depending on the person. And all the difference that makes working and living in the world very challenging. Even though we have so much in common in this room, we're so uniquely different and diverse. Some people have a really hard time with people who are not exactly like they are, like they think they are. So that's why we need to focus on difference, respecting what that difference means, respecting how interaction with other humans means from other cultures, other parts of even the state you were born in or the city you come from. We're all very different. There's really nothing wrong with that until that difference creates a very negative situation, which is very easy to happen as we've learned in our world today.
Develop our soft skills. Ultimately, we want to have these skills that will transfer from when we're in undergrad or grad to when we get over to our careers, right? So learning how to effectively communicate, learning how to work in teams, learning how to manage people, learning how to speak to people, learning how to have those interpersonal skills. These are all needed to transfer, right? Because we can keep developing them.
So personal branding starts on the inside. You know, it's about what do you really want to offer to the world, and do you have a clear picture of that? I heard several people say that in the workshop today. It really starts with you. If you don't know who you are, what you got to offer, what you want to deliver, how could you ever sell that? You can't, can you? No. Where is a personal brand located? Where is it? Like, where is it? Somebody said on you. Not on you.
But there you.
Where is it? Say it again.
Somebody else's perception.
That's right. See that right there? Your personal brand is a representation of you.
And what I began to figure out is that it's about being a conductor. You're going to have to start conducting your life. And the one thing that I noticed about conductors is they never care about what's going on behind them. I don't know if you ever watched a conductor, but they're always conducting. See, a person that wants to lead the orchestra must turn their back on the crowd. All the negativity, you're going to have to put it behind you. All the you can't do it, you're going to have to put it behind you. It's now time to conduct. And as you're conducting, the reality is the seats behind you, they're going to be empty for a little while. They will be empty. But see, you got to keep conducting. You've got to keep putting the right people in your life, taking the right positive action, making it about now, not tomorrow. And I will tell you that if you keep conducting and you start putting everything together, you're going to start making some music. You're going to get the degree. You're going to go to the next one. You're going to figure out the career. You're going to figure out your passion. And you're going to keep conducting. But never turn around and look back. See, there are going to be people behind you that are going to get up and leave your life. Let them go. Keep conducting. And as you're conducting, the seats are going to start to fill.
Then got caught up at Los Alamos. Now, what was a woman wanting to be an anchor woman doing at Los Alamos National Laboratory? Managing a, I'm sorry?
Public relations?
No, not quite. That would have been kind of okay, but actually managing their historically black colleges and universities program. Also their HSI, Hispanic Serving Institutions, Tribal Colleges program. That's how I met Michelle and Tommy Rockford, if any of you know Tommy as well. So my two proud students, I'm very happy with that.
I mean, we all have biases. We all have biases. And that in and of itself is not a character flaw. It's do we let our biases control our behaviors, control our interactions? And so, you know, the federal government, 3 million people. It's the world's largest employer. And so there's going to be all walks of life in the workplace. And it may, I should say, require any one of us to get out of our comfort zone of who we've interacted with in the past. And really just taking the time. I think what's really important is rapport building, getting to know the person in the cubicle next to you, and being open to the experience. We can all learn so much from each other, and we should all appreciate each other. And you mentioned inclusion. There is a book out there that came out in 2016 with that title, Inclusion. Author's name is Jennifer Brown, and her 4 main pillars of inclusion is that everyone wants to be welcomed, valued, respected, and heard. Welcomed, valued, respected, and heard. And if we can each commit to making all those around us feel welcomed, that they're welcomed into our space, that they're welcome to interact, that we value them, that there's mutual respect, and that we're hearing them, which goes back to the listening. That's just a winning recipe for everyone. If you can really embrace that kind of a model, I think, you know, from a soft skills perspective, that's a winning formula.
So maybe it's not about whether or not you're African American or Hispanic or Asian
Right.
or gay or lesbian.
Right.
Maybe it's not about that, but your ability to apply those 4
Right.
areas.
Because all of that also speaks to, again, your credibility. Do people perceive you as ethical, as having integrity? If they don't feel welcomed, that taints their perception of, are you someone I can trust? And again, the trustworthy, the credibility, the integrity, those are the coattails of on which your reputation lies.
Yeah.
And so, you know, without those principles, your reputation will suffer. And if your reputation goes, it is a long, hard journey to get that back.
And now's the time for our students to
Build it up.
build it up,
Build it up.
sustain it, maintain it, be successful.
Absolutely.
Dave, thank you so very, very much for joining me for this interview. I have greatly benefited. I hope our listeners and viewers have benefited from this conversation this morning. Thank you
Great.
so very much.
Thank you.
So I attended a seminar by Mr. Darius Swinson entitled Transforming Your Dreams into Reality, Developing Your Soft Skills, and I am so amazed and impressed at the information that he gave to all of us. I feel like this is going to help me grow professionally but also personally, and I definitely think this is something that will benefit students now and especially in their future when they want to develop their careers.
The presentation very informative, and it changed my perspective on how I need to think in order to accomplish my goals, and now I feel more prepared in terms of going after what I want to go after.
This seminar was very informative, and it helped me understand different skills that I could use in real life and educational world, and it helps me realize what I need to do to get to my career. Thank you.